Welcome back to Connect MKE. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, we've been focusing on the arts. The art and business of fashion give form and function to clothing, imbuing it with meaning in the ever-evolving language of style. My next guest understands that all too well. Laurence Andrew is the founder and designer of Ratchet Luxury brand. How are you, Larry?
I'm amazing, Andrea. How are you?
I am doing very well, extremely happy and proud of you. And for those who listen to me on the radio, they'll know for a couple of years you came on and you gave us information on our favorite stars. So they know you as the fashion guru, Larry Andrew. But fashion is something that you've always been known for. So talk about, when did you go from just liking clothes to actually designing and starting your own business?
I knew that I really had something when I was in high school before I learned how to sew. And I was charging $30 for prom gown sketches.
I love it.
And I knew then, I said, oh, I can really do something here. I said, I need to actually learn how to make these things that I come up with in my mind.
I love it. And that's exactly what you've done. And I think it's safe to say that nothing worth having comes easy. And you would agree that this has not been an easy journey, but it's something you love and you never gave up.
Absolutely. Even when times were bleak and there were times when it just didn't seem like my goals were going to come to fruition, I never stopped because I always saw the bigger picture. I always saw my end game. So I was like, you know what? I can't stop. And I had too many examples of people who had come before me, who I admire, who have been through similar situations. So I said, I know if they can do it, I know I can do this.
Absolutely. So you say it all started with a t-shirt, and here you are now, fresh off of New York Fashion Week, which is a huge accomplishment, needless to say. Take us on the journey from getting the call, getting to New York, and actually going through the show. What were you feeling through this particular scenario?
Well, first of all, let me say, I had put New York Fashion Week and the pursuit of it on the back burner. A lot of people who know me know that I had a custom design business where I focused on like bridal and special occasion wear. Mm-hmm. I really lost passion for it. And honestly, I completely burned out and I stopped and I went back to work. And you know how it is when you're creative and when you're not doing what you're supposed to do and you feel those creative urges. So I said, well, what can I do that's not gonna stress me out, but then I can still, flex my creative muscle. And that's where Ratchet Luxury was born. So came up with the logo, dropped the t-shirt, and it was received very well. And so one t-shirt became 20.
Wow.
And before you know it, I am self-employed again. Just running Ratchet Luxury. And a friend of mine, and she's like a mentor as well. And she had worked New York Fashion Week for several seasons, and she was branching off and she was starting her own entity within New York Fashion Week called New York Fashion Week Black, which was a subsidiary of New York Fashion Week, but it highlighted African-American designers. And so when she got the go and she decided that she was going to do this, she asked me if I would participate. Now, mind you, all I have are tees, hoodies, accessories. I haven't thought of this as a ready-to-wear collection yet. So I told her to let me think about it, and then the ideas just flooded. And so I told her I would do it. And, we got everything together, made the trip, and here we are.
And the rest, as they say, is history. And you did so well that you will be going back to New York in September to continue to flex that creative muscle. So before we run out of time, give us the definition of Ratchet Luxury.
Basically, Ratchet Luxury is just celebrating the trends within our community before they become appropriated. That was my need for starting Ratchet Luxury, because so often, we see trends happen that start within our communities, and, they're deemed, kind of gauche and like blasé by the mainstream until they take them and appropriate them, and then they become chic. So what I wanted to do was celebrate them within ourselves without the appropriation.
Okay, I can respect that. And everybody, I think when you look at the world of art, everybody is inspired by somebody. So what fashion icon inspires you the most?
I always say if Gianni Versace, Andre Leontali, and Roberto Cavalli get together, I'd be the result.
Boom, I like that answer. And as we wrap up, Larry, a quote you said that I think is very powerful. You said, replace crippling fear and self-sabotage with relentless drive and determination. And that is how you've actually gotten to where you are today. And I think that statement goes a long way for people who have a dream of any kind. You would agree?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Totally set the fear aside and just focus on the goal and keep tunnel vision and don't stop.
I like that. Tell everybody how they can find a Ratchet Luxury clothing and accessories.
Okay, you can go to my website, which is www.ratchetluxury.myshopify.com. You can find us on Instagram at Ratchet Luxury Shop and Facebook at Ratchet Luxury.
All righty. Thank you so much, and continued success. You're making us proud.
Thank you so much.
Laurence Andrew is the founder and designer of Ratchet Luxury. Visit his website again, ratchetluxurymyshopify.com, or you can follow him on Facebook and IG at Ratchet Luxury. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, thank you for watching, and I hope you join us again next week as we connect you to the issues and the people making a difference where we live, work, and play. Have a great day.